Now, Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding present the CBS Radio Network.
Hello, everybody, and
Hi.
welcome to Thursday the 28th.
It's funny how you can forget what day it is. Sometimes you lose a day in the middle of a week. Your fellow will show up in the office, and you'll say, "Hey, was it today I was supposed to see you?" And yes, it was. How many dental appointments have you missed, Hans?
I miss as many as I can.
I know, but on purpose. I mean, how many do you have you forgotten?
Oh, I don't know, probably a few. One thing we haven't forgotten today, though, is to introduce our new act that's going to be a permanent part of the Bob and Ray show, the Bob and Ray Girls, which will be a dance, well, it's a bevy of beauties who are going to kind of be a dance line on the show, and in charge of them we have placed Mr. Webley L. Webster of Canton, Massachusetts, and I think you're quite pleased with the honor, Webb.
Well, I'm more than delighted to accept this honor.
Well, that's your new theme we picked out. You didn't like the first two.
Well, the first one made me sound like I was a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
The second one made me sound like I was a lush.
Like you went a reeling. Well,
And this
what's the
one
matter with
makes
this one?
I don't know, you make me, I don't know, kind of like a sissy.
I think as dance director, as head of the Bob and Ray Girls, that's a pretty good theme for you, Webb.
Well, how would you like to come on the air with a theme like that?
Well, I'm a newscaster. I wouldn't want to come on like that. I'd want a march theme or something.
Well, $3 is your line of a trade.
What?
$3 is the way you like to be treated. If you wouldn't like to go on the air with a permanent tongue,
Well,
why should I?
We'll have to search for something else, I guess.
Say that.
He wanted us to treat him like he would expect to treat us.
Yeah, really, he's getting worse and worse.
And what's a girl, though? How many girls?
There are 8,
They can play any song for me.
even line, and
That's
we'll
very
expect
nice.
to have some results tomorrow.
Gee, that's wonderful.
So if you can rehearse them this
Webb,
afternoon.
it's going to take a lot of practice with this line. First of all, you're going to have, I think, a couple of problems that I think you should know about right now. These
They're awkward.
ladies are all over 60 years old, and they've gotten together and they came to us with the idea that if they could exercise through dancing, it would help them.
See, and that way we get a dance line free, and we think it'll add to the show.
Oh, tick there.
What? Over 60, yes. What's the matter? Your
No,
face
not
is
a
falling.
thing is the matter. But it isn't what I had in mind when you said a bevy of girls.
That's a pretty good assignment you gave Webb.
Boy,
Well, don't laugh at him. Let's see what he'll do with it. I think maybe we can...
I accept it.
It's a challenge. We know that, but you're good at taking up challenges.
I'll accept this, and I'm sure that I'll have a line of ladies that you'll be proud of.
All right, then tomorrow we can expect the first performance of
All
Bob and
right.
Ray Girls, okay?
See you, Webb. So long.
Ah, cut out the music. Cut it out.
Poor fella.
We go up to Mount Washington now, don't we?
Yes, Clifford Fleming is standing by at the Bob and Ray weather station that we've set up there for these many years. Joe Alonso is contacting them now, which would indicate that they're all set to go. So come in, please, from Mount Washington in New Hampshire, Clifford Fleming. Oh, wait a minute. Kick the relay, will you? Good.
Hello, Dave.
Hi. Hi
We're
there.
Fleming here at the Bob and Ray weather station. And there's a little trouble.
Yes.
There's wind, as you can hear, and we've had sizable amounts of snow.
There's always wind up there, even in August, I guess,
The
Cliff.
real problem is, Dave, you know we have a weather radar system here,
No, I didn't know that.
the Bob and Ray radar station.
Oh, was that what that big bill was that we paid week Tuesday?
That's right,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yes, I remember.
Anyway, we were getting interference, and I went out the other day and I cut the cable. Unfortunately, it was the one that goes to the TV station here.
Oh, boy. Oh,
And
boy.
I don't think you're getting my any programs from here on picture now
Well,
through your Bob and Ray station.
we were never getting any picture of you, Clifford.
That right, Dave?
No, but I think there is
All
a...
these years, I figured I was on camera for these broadcasts.
No, but I'll tell you, there is a commercial television station's transmitting tower.
Maybe
up
that's
there.
it, Dave.
Oh, well, then I think we'll cut this interview short. I'm sure the state troopers are on their way there now to see you.
Yes, I see someone down at the foot of the mounting starting up.
Wonderful. I wonder if you could quickly summarize the weather and get off the air and blow the joint.
Cold and snowy, blustery, late January weather, Dave.
Typical for this season of the
Typical
year.
for this season, although, of course...
How's the old
very-
lady, the War Department?
She's fine, coming
Good.
back next week.
Oh, she's been away.
Had a vacation in Big Town, Dave.
Where'd she go?
She went down to Manchester.
Down to Manchester.
Mhm.
And, well, that's about it, I guess.
Okay, then, and I'll be looking for your call.
Hang on. Got it. I don't know what call he's looking for
Thought he
at all.
was on TV all this time.
Mitch
Boy.
Miller probably will call him. Hey, that'd be a good interview for Mitch.
Cliff Fleming, yeah.
Yeah. But now, let's see, we have something to say about that program. Now, let's see, it says, now seems as good a time, yes, as any, for us to run down the guest roster of CBS Radio's Mitch Miller Show this Sunday night. Okay?
Well, I don't know. Mitch's guest list isn't really firmed up yet, I don't think.
Well, we can at least let the folks know the tentatives, shall we?
Yeah, well, that sounds reasonable enough. Tentatively booked for the show, there's little Pip McFeeters, child star of the hit Broadway drama Hamlet.
Oh, yeah. Lola and Pops Farnsworth, fresh from their triumphal engagement in Las Vegas's fabulous Thunder Bunny Cafeteria.
That's a new act, isn't it?
I think so. According to the Variety review I read, it's a flash novelty turn that has something to do with playing teaspoons like castanets.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of nice.
And you'll also meet that singing group that's shooting straight up the record charts these days with their hit disc click, Cop and a Plea, the four monophonics.
Plus, others too tentative to mention.
Find out who's going to be on The Mitch Miller Show. Hear The Mitch Miller Show Sunday night on CBS Radio.
Yeah, we'll do that up Brown, that's for sure. Now then.
From the Bob and Ray World Communications Center here in New York, we call in our correspondents spread around the world for various reports from the world capitals on problems of our nation, on problems facing our nation, and on big stories in the news. First of all, to London, England, and Bob and Ray correspondent Phil Fish with the report on how the American presidential elections are shaping up in that country.
This is Phil Fish in London. As the United States turns now to the job of selecting a new executive, the year 1960 will pose many...
It doesn't.
That does it. Now back to America.
South of Phil Fish in London, Brad Balloon is standing by at Bob and Ray's Paris studio for a report on the French reaction to the news. Come in, Brad Balloon.
This is Brad Balloon in Paris. Talking to the average Frenchman of the street.
doesn't.
That does it. Now back to America.
Emery Tisdale is stationed down under in Australia, which is enjoying summer right now. And for the reaction there to our coming presidential election, we call in Emery Tisdale in Brisbane.
This is Frank Emery Tisdale in Brisbane. The Australians always show great interest in any American election. 1960 certainly will prove to be one of super interest in that the American people will elect a new president in the 1960. The average man in Australia seems to be vitally concerned not only with the way the Americans will vote and whom they will elect president, but also...
That does it,
seems-
Emery. Emery Tisdale from Brisbane, Brad Balloon from Paris, and Phil Fish in London reporting to the Bob and Ray World Communications Center in New York. That's the kind of music I like. That's what
I wanted to point out, Wally, that copies of tonight's World News Report would be available for those of you who probably have forgotten some of the things that were said there. Just simply write a request to us, and if we feel like it, we'll send it out to you. Chances are we won't.
If you're on the Bob and Ray mailing list already, don't bother because you might just get one.
Don't you worry a bit about it. No, sirree.
Mary, what is all this paraphernalia you brought in this evening?
Well, it's a new game that I've been working on.
Well, you've got a cowbell there and,
It's called Scrabopoly. It's a happy combination of, well, two games.
Scrabble and Monopoly, yeah.
I thought you could get that. Well, not only that, but there's some other little games in there, too.
Well, how do you play it? Is it something for two, or is it a solitary game?
Well, you can play it by yourself, or you can play with 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 5. After 5, it gets too cumbersome in my apartment.
Kind of sticky after that, huh?
Well, I only have the 5 chairs, and if 6 play, one will have to sit on the table or stand.
Well, you want to be comfortable.
But if you have a large home or a big dining room table with, say, 12 chairs, you could have 12 people.
Yeah.
But I was only speaking for the circumstances in which I find myself when I want to play Scrabopoly at my home. I know I'm sounding like I'm some sort of an idiot, but I don't mean to be.
No, well,
but I do know that so many people don't. When you say can play, 12 can play. I don't think I have ever in my life played a game.
All right, okay.
I mean, not a game in the house.
Yeah.
I think with the...
Fine.
How
do
you feel,
you want to tell us how we play this?
Huh? Yes. Well, first of all, this is small whistle.
Yeah.
And this is a rattle here.
Yeah.
And this is a deck of marked cards there.
Oh, yeah.
These here are... Oh, no, those shouldn't be there.
Look like cookies. Is that
Yeah.
something?
Would you like one?
Yeah.
No, you don't use the cookies. But anyway, you see, you have the rattle and the dice.
Oh, yes.
The dice.
Yeah.
Now, the dice, one dice should be loaded so that you'll always have a 7 on one of the dice.
Well, is this a cheating game or something?
You can cheat.
You can?
Oh, yes, you can cheat if you so desire, if that's the way you want to play. But ordinarily, you don't cheat. You don't play this for money anyway.
Okay. Well, do
So
we have
now
time to do it now?
Well,
we
how
have
much
time
time do you have?
We've got about a minute, I think.
Talking on. Well, you take the dice, one of them being loaded.
Right. Which one is loaded, do you know?
This one.
Can I have that one?
Well, well, you can have it after I show you how to play the game. Now, you roll them out on the table like this. It broke, didn't it, that dice?
Split right in two there.
That's the cheapest pair of dice I have ever seen in my life. Terribly cheap.
I don't think
Well, the idea would be this. Supposing that this set was 7, as it should be if it's loaded.
Yeah.
And let's say this was 4, that would be 11.
11.
You'd take your whistle, you'd blow it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Right.
Then you'd take the rattle and move it 2 pegs and move that. And like that.
And then yell Scrabopoly or something like that. Huh?
Well, if you want to, I wouldn't.
Well,
Oh, I don't know. I
have
hate
to
to
spend
blow
more
a whistle
time.
on you, Mary, but that's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life, bar none.
We'll have a word from the management in just 10 seconds.
Friends, there are 2 things we'd like you to do tonight.
Listen to The World Tonight at 8
And to 3 guesses right after that.
on WCBS Radio.
Sir, you're more than welcome to use your own facilities here.
When the evening cloud has been flayed, the whole world finds itself closed until we raise that flame which is coffin with a hill from high.
Thank you, sir. Until tomorrow, this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumbs.
Your Truth Dollars, care of your local postmaster, will continue Radio Free Europe. This is the CBS Radio Network.
And now, Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding present the CBS Radio Network. Hi, everybody. Only a few more hours to go on this Friday the 13th.
Kind of like walking a tightrope today, hasn't it?
That's right.
Oh, I haven't had anything real bad happen to me that I...
No,
Remember.
I haven't either, come to think about it. But let's not jinx it, huh?
No. Next year, we're going to have one Friday the 13th. It'll be in May, I see, by the Farmer's Almanac here.
I'm going to put a little water here and have a little glass of... Oh, doggone it.
Oh, boy, look at that.
Oh, all over my suit.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, what happened to you, Webb?
Well, I was changing tire on my car,
Yeah?
and the thing slipped off the jack,
Oh, boy.
and it pushed me right into a couple of, it was a whole pile of deteriorating pumpkins.
Oh, that accounts for your kind of gamey appearance here.
And with a tilt of my nose, too.
Yeah, well,
Well, what are you going to expect?
what does the doctor say? You going to be all right?
He said the stains will come out if I tell the cleaner exactly what it is. And not to try to get them out myself.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Wally. Hey, ooh. You too, huh?
Lost my wallet just
I
after
could
you
tell by
paid me
looking
this
at your
morning.
Really?
Yep.
All $13?
Right down the drain.
How about that? You
Where'd
lost
you
it
lose
down
it?
the drain?
Down the drain.
Oh, gee whiz. That's too bad.
So, I was wondering if I get an advance on next week. Like, I mean, man, you know, it takes quite a lot for a groovy reporter like myself to meet the expenses of this ever-increasing cost of living period.
Like flake off, huh, Wally?
Like, I mean, I'm not going to eat if I don't get
Like,
little advance.
Like, give it a long drink, huh, Wally? If you
Yeah,
think
why
that,
don't you do that, Wall?
like, forget it. Like we don't have the money to give you in advance.
You mean like I'm stuck, huh?
Like you're in the soup.
Man,
Like-
that's way out.
It's too bad.
That's the worst. Here's Mary Magoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
Anything happened to you unfortunate today?
No, why?
Well, everybody else. Webley got all smeared up there with changing a tire, and Wally
What?
lost his wallet.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Ray's ruined his white suit that he was wearing today.
What does Ray try to make
Spilled
off? Like
coffee
he's
all
Mark Twain
I
wearing
don't
that
know.
white suit.
He's letting the hair grow longer, too. He's getting flowing white hair.
Well, I figure that fellow who's playing Mark Twain around the country and on Broadway, you know, I can always step in case he gets...
He's going to get tired sooner or later.
Sure, he's going to
huh?
get sick of it, and I'll be able to step in and take over.
Well, have you got the...
No,
got the voice
I don't have
down
any of the
for him?
mannerisms nor the voice, and I don't know anything that Mark Twain ever
Well,
wrote.
you smoke cigars. He smokes cigars.
Well, that's about the only thing we have in common. And I've been in Hartford, Connecticut several times.
Well, I think you might have a good start there.
Mm-hmm.
You have any other relatives we can talk about?
I'll cut that out now, George.
Well,
I guess I'm
what
the only
are
lucky
you
one
asking
today.
about all day? What's so special about today?
Oh, Friday the 13th, that's all.
Oh, my word, yes. Well, now,
that does.
I never even thought about it.
Well, you see, it probably would have been better not to mention it.
Probably
because
now, if I'm thinking about it, something will happen.
Sure as shooting
Well, look,
it
I'd
will.
love to stay long, but I have to go uptown, get my weekend shopping done.
All right.
Get a leg of lamb. So long.
Good.
Oh!
Oh, that nail in that chair.
Oh, and that was a lovely new coat.
It's too bad, Larry.
My heart goes out to you.
Yes, our sincere apologies.
Well, the way your suit looks, keep your heart in there. I
That's
don't.
too bad.
My word. What happened to you anyway?
Well, I fell into some pumpkins that were over the hill, like they say.
Yeah, it's much too late for Halloween pumpkins now.
I'll have to go to the Invisible Weaver if I can find him down Grand Central.
He's a hard man to spot.
I heard that on the radio
Yeah.
one time. I think it was on Funny Side Up. Oh! Do you hear that?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, so long.
Right.
Bye.
Our best to the red-headed twins. Oh, she's gone.
Best of
Some
the
red-headed twins in her town, and
her relatives.
I always like to chat about them.
Hey, you know, now that Friday is here, we thought we might take a moment out to remind you of some fine dramatic listening coming up Sunday night on CBS Radio.
Well, for Western action, you'll thrill to Gunsmoke's power-packed plot as Marshal Matt Dillon painstakingly teaches sidekick Chester how to tie his own shoes.
That have-gun will travel man Paladin will find that somebody's filched all his famous business cards.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, will be probing a case involving a gorgeous blonde, a stunning brunette, a ravishing redhead, and a dynamited chicken coop.
And Suspense will bring you a chilling tale entitled Erie, Pennsylvania, with the late Fu Manchu in the title role.
These, or vastly dissimilar, although equally exciting plots, will brighten your Sunday night listening right here on CBS Radio.
Hey, do you think the program department is on the up and up with those plot synopses they send us this time all the
Well,
time?
they're
I
having
mean,
fun with them, I guess. Only time will tell. We'll just tune in all of those shows and see what really happens.
Hello.
Natalie Attired, ladies and gentlemen. Oh,
Well, I'll.
Natalie Attired, our song sayer.
I just
came
had
in.
new lifts put on those heels. Now they broke clear through.
It's too bad. Those are your
Heels are
walkers, too,
gone.
aren't they?
No,
No?
these are my stunning evening shoes.
They look like your walkers.
No.
Very little difference there.
Well, I can't keep these on too long.
I see
Swell
Eddie,
up, I can't get them off.
I see Eddie slink in with you.
That.
I thought he was fired.
Well, lucky.
No, I'm not fired.
But he's slinking a lot more than he used to. Let me tell you, he's like a whooped puppy.
I thought I saw him slink in.
Well, anyway, I have a delightful song to say this weekend, and I'm going to have the full support of Eddie at the drum.
I'm going to try and do my very best.
He is definitely going to do his very best. I don't want to take up too much time because we have a long song to say.
And I'm looking right at you, Ray.
Well, what are you looking at
When
me?
I say I'm going to do my very best.
I know you.
Don't cast any aspersions.
Well, I won't. Okay. Okay, I'm
You
sorry.
were looking at me, Eddie.
Oh, I mixed the two of you up.
You had me confused there for a second.
Yeah.
I kept trying to get into your eyes view, kind of focus, and I was
Yeah.
getting nervous.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry.
he
I
does
wouldn't
that a
have
lot. When he talks to you, he looks over your shoulder at the person down the road, too.
Yeah, or up at the ceiling. I've seen him do
Yes,
that
he
a
does
lot.
that. He stays up at the floor, it's down at the floor when he's talking to you.
Yeah.
Kind of like he has no convictions in what he's saying. Do you know how to pronounce this word? It's coming up in the Pratt Institute alma mater song.
No, I don't, but I'll
It's
be happy to see what you
G-U-E-R.
do with it when you come to it.
All right, well, let's have at it, Eddie, please.
Right.
Towering far above her neighbors, shop and mart and hall, stands the home of student labor's noblest of them all. At each meeting, give her greeting, raise the proud salute. Hail to thee, our alma mater, hail Pratt Institute. In our hearts her precepts linger, her example gleams, showing with unerring finger guerdon of our dreams. At our meeting for our greeting, raise the proud salute. Hail to thee, our alma mater, hail Pratt Institute. Around the world the chain extending, each to other binds, all her honored name defending, hearts and hands and minds. At our meeting give her greeting, raise the proud salute. Hail to thee, our alma mater, hail Pratt Institute.
Great. That's one of the best renditions you've ever done of a
Eddie,
college song.
thank you.
Quite all right, Mr.
Delighted with
Tired.
the way you did it.
Well, I was very pleased to cooperate and provide you with the background you needed to put over your rendition of the Pratt Institute song.
Thank you.
Now, friends, if you'd like to get rid of pesky dandruff in just 3 minutes.
Oh, wait, I like dandruff.
Well, I don't mean you, Bob. I mean those average normal men and women out there who don't like unsightly dandruff and want to get rid of it fast. You see, dandruff bothers most men, and women too, so listen. Today, you can get rid of embarrassing dandruff in just 3 minutes. Yes, with Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo, unsightly dandruff's gone in 3 minutes. It's the quickest, easiest of all leading shampoos. And that's not all. Using Fitch regularly is guaranteed to keep embarrassing dandruff away. Simply apply in the unique Fitch manner. Before you wet hair, rub in 1 minute. This way, Fitch shampoo penetrates right down to the scalp. Next, add water and lather 1 minute to wash every trace of dandruff out of your hair. Then rinse 1 minute. All that loosened dandruff goes down the drain. In 3 minutes with Fitch, 1 rubbing, 1 lathering, 1 rinsing, dandruff's gone. And never forget, gentle Fitch can also leave your hair up to 35% brighter. To get rid of dandruff problems forever, brighten hair too, use Fitch regularly. Get Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo today, only 59 cents.
Wally left a tape here of someplace he went last week, I guess.
He was at some fair somewhere, and this tape here. So Mr. Joe Alonzo, who was recently returned from an extended tour of painting his kitchen, is all set to play that tape for us. So, Joe,
Painted
if
it
you...
yellow twice.
Twice, yeah. Well, the first time it was too pale. Second time, now it's much too yellow. They're going to settle for gray. But anyway, will you play that tape?
Tika, Ohio. This is radio's Wally Ballou at the Attica Fair, and we're going to taste some of the sounds, smells, and sensations of a real country fair. I'm walking down the midway at the present moment and looking at some of the jelly displays. At the far end, they're having a tug-of-war between the firemen and the high school boys. And we're going to look at on a hog farmer as he displays his wares.
All right, come on now. Come on, Timmy.
Maybe you can hear him now as he puts them through their paces.
Hey, wait a second. Hey, who curled that hog's tail the wrong way?
It was me, sir.
You
I
just
thought
noticed
it was
that
supposed to go counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere.
No, it's not. It goes counterclockwise.
he's berating a small assistant who's working with him there.
All right, come on, Timmy, let's go.
Now the pigs are being put through their paces as they jump through the hoops over the standing sawhorses, running up the ramp, playing follow the leader, so to speak, under these blue Ohio skies, which only this morning threatened to douse the whole fair with rain. Moving along now to the further end of the midway, we're watching a few games of chance. Gentleman is calling us over to...
Just take it once across without hitting the wire. A free game.
Okay, I'll try that.
Here's a man who's going to be a good sport. Oh, you're lost, sir.
Now watch this young fella.
I've never won.
Here's a young boy going.
Watch this young man.
He won't win.
There's a fellow with a steady hand. Hey, there goes a loser.
There's a loser.
That's a loser.
Save your money,
There's
but...
another loser. Now watch this
There's,
fella here.
Here's a fella.
Hey, there goes another loser.
Oh, he lost too. Have
You know, I think Congress could spend a little time investigating this bird. Watch,
yeah, I think
never a
he's,
winner.
I think he's running a...
I mean, why investigate winners? Let's get losers.
There's a
That's what
loser.
I want to investigate. Losers.
Yes, it is a
People
cricket
never win.
game.
See, another loser. Another...
Nobody's winning here, ladies and gentlemen.
See, boy, does he have losers. They investigate winners. Why don't they investigate losers?
All right, let's take our portable microphone to the squash contest. The contest for the biggest summer squash. And they have just picked you. Is that right, sir?
That is right. I have this huge squash that I got the night before the 4th.
Uh-huh. And it's lasted right through until late fall here now.
Yes, here it is, the 13th of November.
That's right. And you getting a prize for it, or?
Yes, I'm getting a blue ribbon to wear on my lapel, and also a ribbon that goes on the squash.
Well, what will you do with the squash after the fair is over?
Well, we'll cut it up and make a lot of pumpkin pies.
This is Radio's Wally Ballou returning it to Bob and Ray.
Thank you. And we'll have unusual sounds for you in just 10 seconds. And 10 seconds is just enough time to remind you to listen to The World Tonight at 8 and all the other fine programs offered on WCBS Radio. Now, Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding present the CBS Radio Network.
Good evening. Hope you enjoy our program.
Well, we hope so.
That you like our sponsors.
We'll be here for a few minutes, next 12 minutes or so, 13, 14 minutes.
And I was just talking with the gentleman from upstairs, and he would like to have us straighten out the situation in the front hall.
Who's the gentleman upstairs who would have the nerve to call us when we're on the air, Bob?
He has the nerve, believe me, and the right.
He has, huh?
So
Okay.
I think we should straighten it out. It's gone on all week.
You mean they keep falling over the
Him.
fella out there?
Yes.
Who was it that fell originally, anyway? I forget. Do you remember?
He was somebody we interviewed.
I know it was.
Was our book reviewer who kept falling a theater critic, wasn't it?
That's
kept
right.
falling asleep.
All right, let's go outside and see if we can stop him. Anyway. Excuse us, friends. It's a business thing.
Let me through here, please. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hey, folks. Hey!
Everybody.
Oh, come on, don't be fighting
They
your
look baggy to you,
people.
Webley.
They look baggy to
Yours
me.
do, but mine don't.
Well, my pants have always been baggy.
Well, they're fighting among themselves there now.
But you got holes
in your socks.
No. Come on.
Please,
We've had complaints from Chester Hasbrook
on this.
Frisbee next door, who's trying to do a dramatic program. Oh, thank you.
That's better. What is that show that Chester does, do you know?
I have no idea. No idea at all.
Search for something. But I think they'll quiet down now. What do you mean?
Oh, come on now, folks.
Come in here and sit down.
You should be careful.
Well,
Go
I'm
out on
very
remote
careful all the
broadcast.
time. I
Oh,
would be
why
with
don't you
the
go
arguing
fight,
about somebody like Webster.
Honestly, Bob and Ray are trying to broadcast up there, and you two are going out like...
It's not only Bob and Ray, it's
Give it a break.
Let her
the
broadcast.
dramatic
Hire a hall.
Oh,
You-
hire a hall yourself.
Told us. Well, never mind.
Gee whiz. Now then, let's get to our first. First of all, Bob, would you get on the phone and call Chester Hasbrook Frisbee and assure him that there will be no more noise outside
and
the studio?
What's that? 217, isn't it?
Right.
Hello.
Hello?
Let me speak to Chester Hasbrook Frisbee, please.
Wait a second. Chester?
Hello?
Yes?
Chester, you know about that stuff out in the hall, the trouble there?
Yes, would you
This
please...
is Bob and Ray. We straightened it all out.
Would you please stop it out there? We're doing a very dramatic scene in this
I
program.
know you are, Chester, and just as soon as we tell the cast off, I'm sure they're
Sick
going to
and
understand.
tired of it. You've been doing this sort of nonsense
I know.
and disrupting my actors and actresses
I know it.
for almost a year.
All right, well,
Let me put it to you this way.
Yes, sir.
That if it happens again, I'm going to have somebody lean on you
All right.
hard.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
We'll take care of it. Goodbye. One of the grand old men of radio directing here, and one that we certainly revere in great measure. Chester Hasbrook
Can it,
Frisbee.
Bob? Now then. The Bob and Ray Everyman Hall of Fame. This week's Hall of Fame sheepskin scroll for public service does not go to the man who wowed our musical selection, but goes to Lester Lash, who gave unstintingly of his time in the interest of us all. Will you please come forward, Lester Lash, and receive the sheepskin scroll, which will find a permanent place in your home.
Well, thank you, Mr. Goulding, and it's an honor I really appreciate.
Nonsense, you deserve it, sir. Your act of high public drama proves that, I'm sure.
Well, little did I realize when I cemented over a crack in the sidewalk, little did I realize that I would be accorded such an honor.
Mr. Lash, will you tell our listeners why you cemented that crack in the pavement, please?
Well, this sidewalk, the one we're talking about, is in front of my home, and people passing by were tripping over the crack quite a bit.
And what else were they doing, Mr. Lash, when they tripped over it?
Well, very few of the passers-by actually fell.
They just stumbled a bit, is that it?
That's right, but after they'd stumbled, they would turn around, look back at the crack, and swear.
Or curse.
That's right, Mr. Goulding. And as a result, people within a radius of some 200 yards were able to hear the loud swearing, or as you put it, cursing.
So you decided to put an end to all that.
That's right. Not only was it unpleasant to hear, but it was lowering property values in the immediate vicinity of the crack in the sidewalk, so I decided to cement over the crack.
And when the job was finished, Mr. Lash, did it put a halt to the stream of invective that had been heard over such a long distance?
Well, not at first. You see, while the cement was drying, I roped off the area, thus blocking off the sidewalk.
Forcing, I suppose, a lot of people to detour around the roped-off area.
That's right. So the cursing couldn't have stopped right off, as you can see, not until the cement had hardened.
But the important thing is you got the job done. And,
Well, it would have been fine if I hadn't accidentally dropped a number of coins into the wet cement while I was doing the job.
kept the cursing going strong then, didn't it,
Yes,
Mr.
you should
Lash?
hear what some of those people have to say when they try to pick up those coins.
Yes, I can
Nickels,
imagine.
dimes,
Well,
quarters.
nevertheless, you've been selected as this week's winner of our sheepskin scroll for services rendered to the community in your neighborhood, encompassing a radius of about 200 yards.
Well, I think that with the new sidewalk setup, we can safely say the earshot area has been extended to a radius of about 300 yards now.
Lester Lash, this week's winner on the Bob and Ray Everyman Hall of Fame. Now, right out that door, Lester, if you would. Say, you know, do you think Thursday's too early for us to give a thumbnail preview of one of CBS Radio's Sunday dramas?
No, not especially. Let's do it tonight instead of tomorrow so folks can wear a string around their finger an extra day, huh?
Do people really do that anymore? I mean...
What?
Wear a string around their finger.
Oh, I think so, sure.
What do they do when they wash their hands? I mean, take it off and put it back on again, or what?
Well, maybe.
You know, I could stand wearing a wet string.
Let's just suggest everybody...
Kind of like the idea.
Pick up a red crayon and circle Sunday on the calendar.
That would be, of course, to remind them to hear CBS Radio's Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, Suspense, Have Gun Will Travel, and Gunsmoke.
How many calendars across the land do you suppose are being defaced right now?
Do people really do that, too?
Do what?
Wear a string around their finger?
No, they don't do that at all.
And now, chocolate cookies with white stuff in between them brings you another episode of Lawrence Fechtenberger, Interstellar Officer Candidate.
In our last episode, Lawrence Fechtenberger unwittingly took the wrong side in the great debate at the Interstellar Officer Academy, thus losing the debate for his school. Now, with his classmates in an uproar, Lawrence appears before the commandant at his office in his planetary space headquarters.
Well, Commandant, what can I say except to say I'm sorry?
Well, Fechtenberger, it was a horrible mistake you made. I think you can tell by the sound of that jeering mob outside that you've caused no end of trouble here.
Sir, you have no idea how depressing it is to look out a window and see thousands of your own colleagues jeering at you and asking for you to come outdoors and to face them like a true Space Academy gentleman. I don't know, sir. I did my best.
They used to be your friends, Fechtenberger.
I know that, sir. But I'm close to tears as I look out this window now.
I know this effect. Oh.
That hurt, sir.
Yeah, hit me right in the head, yes.
Here, you jeering students. Do you realize you hit the commandant with that stone? You're in for it now. You're in for it now.
Well, there's a note attached to that stone, Fechtenberger. Read it.
Awfully sorry, sir.
Oh.
Said say, why don't you check on the microphone that is hidden not too far from the commandant's office?
That's right. I'd forgotten about the microphone in the excitement of the debate. 2 episodes ago, you just spotted it there hanging behind the lamp.
Here it is. Let's follow the wire. It's down here and out the door.
If you go out the door, Fechtenberger, you're going to be in the midst of that mob. You know that.
I'm going to follow this wire, Commandant. See where it leads to.
And so, braving the angry mob, Lawrence Fechtenberger leaves the commandant's office to follow the wire leading from the microphone in the lampshade. Be sure and join us in our next episode when we'll hear Lawrence say to Mug Mellish,
Mug, I want to thank you for saving my skin.
In the next exciting episode of Lawrence Fechtenberger, Interstellar Officer Candidate.
Thirsty people everywhere prefer ice-cold Pepsi-Cola. And because it's light, it refreshes without filling.
Charlie, be sociable.
I am, Kay. Pepsi is a favorite of thirsty people from Maine to Hawaii, from Alaska to Florida.
Charlie.
It's perfect for parties or picnics, so serve Pepsi to your guests.
That's helpful, but...
This is the sociable part. Keep plenty of Pepsi ice-cold and ready. Remember, it goes fast because everybody likes Pepsi.
Singing still sounds more inviting. May I?
Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi. Drink light, refreshing Pepsi. Stay young and fair and debonair. Be sociable, have a Pepsi.
But singing doesn't say, pick up an extra carton of Pepsi today. Better yet, get a case.
You do that.
Hi, Bob and Ray.
Well,
I took the tape home last night, listened to it, and it's really great.
Did you enjoy it?
You gonna have time to play it today?
Gee, no, Wally, I'm awfully sorry about this,
Oh.
but we won't have time for that.
Well, maybe I'll take it home and play it again tonight. I've got some friends coming over. I'll bring it in tomorrow.
Well, I just don't think a person should be seen on the
Chester
spot.
has no frisbee. Set me
Come on,
down.
don't be fighting your
Talk
paper.
with you guys.
Oh, the director of that dramatic story across the hall?
Yeah.
What they're doing?
Yeah, now which one of you was talking to Chester on the phone?
That was me. I'm Bob, and I talked to him just a minute ago, and we told him everything.
Just a moment, sir. You can't do that to Bob. I'll have you know that,
That was Ray, sir, and I know that Chester was upset, but you shouldn't come.
Be quiet, Bob. Just stay on the floor like me.
Well, I know, but
Just
you can't
play it
take.
cool.
I mean, we have a show on our own.
These two bums will be back to say so long in 10 seconds.
And in these few seconds, we invite you to listen to The World Tonight following our show.
And 3 guesses with Ed Joyce right after that.
All here at 880.
I wasn't very good for the big cotillion ball tonight, will I?
No, you can't cover that very well either.
Till tomorrow, this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumb.
Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding present the CBS Radio Network. From California, make believe.
Oh, it's great to be out here again, isn't it?
Wonderful. And is that our theme, for goodness
Is that
sake?
going to serve as a theme for
No,
this evening?
Pierre. No,
Because
no.
a lot of people tune in. I know a lot of the ships at sea tune in for the theme.
Well, they tune in mostly when we for the fish reports, Bob.
I know, but they get the theme first, and that tells them that they're on the right channel.
I'd like to take time out right now for those fishermen who are at sea and give them a little listing on the prices, I suppose. What was that ship? The Rita B arrived with 30,000 redfish, 60,000 cod, 50,000 lemon sole, and 1 smelt.
And
which isn't a bad record.
Won't have the prices on those for some time.
Not a bad average when you think of it.
I'd like to be at sea again.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about being at sea. I know,
spent a good deal of my early life at sea, you know.
Oh, that's over. I didn't know that. But speaking of those fish reports,
It's Webley Webster, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to.
I would like to say that back many years ago, I had a hard time scratching to get by. And Bob and Ray put me in front of a microphone on their program.
Oh, come on now, Webb. I think I know what you're leading up to.
Really, great things began to happen for me.
Well, look, you deserved everything, really.
Well, I don't know.
Can't sit here and
look,
take credit for everything.
I can't even deny that it would have happened if I hadn't come on the show. I don't know. All I know is...
Well, it probably
that from
wouldn't
the
have.
time I came onto your program, I had a wonderful... My career just flourished.
Well, what do you mean,
top
actually?
billing.
Can you pinpoint this a little bit so people will know
Well,
you're not
Bob,
just...
just now this season, I'm booked in for many organ recitals at railroad terminals and stations.
Well, that's good, I guess.
Going up to Boston to give a recital at the Kenmore Square station or at
on
the
the
subway
subway?
station.
Yeah?
And let's see, I'm going to entertain at the far end of Far Rockaway subway.
Well, that certainly sounds like you're pretty heavily booked up.
Go far on the Canal Street IRT.
The Canal Street IRT stop.
Oh,
on the
no, you don't
subway
have to
here?
translate for me, Bob. People know what I'm saying.
Well, it was a little muffled there, I think.
Oh, but I just want to acknowledge this, and as you can see, both you and Ray, your eyes are swimming in tears.
What?
I say your eyes are swimming in tears.
No,
And,
we're not really crying.
I think it's only fair to acknowledge this so
Do you
all
get paid
America...
for these appearances? I was just thinking out loud. You being paid for these things?
Well,
I mean, you're getting a fee for performing, is that right?
yeah.
As a result of having been heard here. Ray, I think We ought to bring out the Form 3 for Webb to sign, don't you? 10% clause thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because it certainly would protect you, Webb, about in accepting these dates, you see.
Yes, sir.
And it would show us that you really appreciate what we've done for you.
Yes, sir.
So,
right here, sign.
Sign right there,
Right,
if you will.
where it says idiot.
Yeah. It's Webley Webster. Good. Will you get that right over to the office, Wilbur Conley?
Yes.
Wilbur Conley is the young squirt who works for us and takes contracts of this sort over to our office.
You want me now to entertain briefly?
I think probably it'd be very appropriate if you played a selection.
All right, then here I am at the huge Bob and Ray pipe organ. And I'm about to play the ever-popular Jealousy.
Webley said he's about to play...
Oh, they know what I'm
all right.
saying.
Go ahead and play it. Webley Webster.
Webb, there's a phone for you out in the lobby.
Webb, can you get the call now and come back some night, maybe later in the week?
Oh.
It's a great start to Jealousy, and we're certainly looking forward to hearing the entire rendition sometime.
So long.
He's never made any records, has he?
No. Poor fella.
I'd like to hear what he'd sound like on a Stereo 1 portable by Columbia.
Hey, now, there is a new sound of pleasure you're speaking of. And this is for everyone listening, too. A real wonderful sound of pleasure in your home, and a kind of a brand new kind of fun, too.
Well, only Columbia gives you a big 6-speaker stereo portable phonograph with all the rich tone and range of big console models. And it's only $139.95.
What? How much?
$139.95.
Wow. Columbia has a wide selection of these portable phonographs, too, and they're all flawlessly engineered by CBS Electronics. And they play any and all records, 45s, 78s, and the new LP and stereo records, too. And you can play them better with true big sound.
You just can't buy a better portable than a Stereo 1 portable phonograph by Columbia. You can't find a better buy either. Portable prices start as low as $39.95.
Christmas, you know, is the time to give your youngsters a gift they'll get fun and pleasure from all through the year. Time to give them a Stereo 1 portable phonograph by Columbia. Number one in the wonderful world of sound.
Now, some travel information. We've never been to Russia, so we don't claim to be experts on the country, actually.
But we do, both Bob and myself, have a good deal of common sense.
Yeah, that counts for a lot.
Right. Anyhow, we've assembled a few travel tips, and we're going to pass them along to those of you who intend to visit Russia this year.
Everybody else has been doing it seems, so we thought we should, too.
Now, first, a few pre-trip suggestions. You'll need to get a passport, as this is a time-consuming process. Once you have your passport, don't be irresponsible with it. That is, don't give it away before you go on your trip.
And you'll have to be inoculated before you leave the United States. We'd advise vacationers to see doctors where inoculations are concerned, because doctors do many things well, and inoculating people is one of the things they do well.
That's right. A good many of you will probably want to use luggage to pack your things in. There's nothing wrong with that, nothing. Indeed, several of you may find it a boon.
And there's no reason why you shouldn't take money along on the trip either. Many people do. They seem to have much better time than those who don't take any money along.
And that's about all you need to know to get you safely out of this country.
Now, this is your first trip to Russia, and you're going by plane. You'll be spending some time over the Atlantic Ocean. Moreover, as a first-time visitor to Russia, don't expect to be met by friends when your plane lands.
See, Russia has a population of about 200 million people. You will not be able to meet all of them.
If your first stop happens to be a busy seaport city, try not to show amazement at the huge number of boats in the harbor. It's their way of indicating that the city is a busy seaport.
And don't be angered if you see a good many communist rallies in the streets. They're very popular in Russia.
If you're confused about currency when making a purchase of any kind, to stay on the safe side, pay in gold.
If you don't speak Russian and you're lost, don't be ashamed to admit that you're lost. The important thing is to find someone to admit it to.
Now, the Russians are extremely curious about Americans, and they'll all want to know how you live. You should have x-rays to show them.
American tourists wearing colorful sports shirts will find that the average Russian laughs very easily.
Most Russians are very fond of the ballet. They're inclined to boast in a very pardonable way that their ballet companies are superior to the ones in our country. So be a good tourist and listen politely, but you might good-naturedly point out to them that the Bolshoi Ballet Company in our country is probably equal to any of theirs.
And Russian kids are pretty much like our own. They do pretty much the same things our kids do, with one exception. Because there are so few cars in Russia, little old ladies can be seen crossing the streets alone.
I think you can all go now. Just keep these tips in mind.
If you take a camping trip while you're in Russia, make sure the cigarette you've discarded is still lit. Forest fires cost them millions last year.
I think maybe we should wind this up with a little Russian language lesson, shouldn't we? Do we have a phrase that we could use?
Yeah, I think we do.
Доброе утро. Здравствуйте. Добрый вечер. Спокойной ночи.
Sure. What did he say? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good night, I think.
I guess so. That pretty well covers that, huh?
So those of you who are making a recording of this broadcast, remember you must have the consent of the American League to do it.
I think we ought to say something good right here about Art Linkletter's house party. Don't you agree?
Say what about it?
Something nice about it?
Oh, well, of course. Where till I find the nice thing I'm supposed to say? Oh, yes. Folks, CBS Radio's house party is one of those big, happy jamborees, jam-packed with laugh-a-minute stunts and rollicking games. It's a funsy time, sure to laugh up your day.
I'm not sure we should say anything that good. Why don't we just remind the folks of all the stunts like bobbing for pimentos and things they'll enjoy hearing, you know.
And, well, how about Art spin the tail on the donkey game?
Well, that doesn't sound like too much fun on a radio show.
Art uses a real donkey, you know.
And I like those conundrums he springs, too. Remember the one a couple of days back, what's black and white and red all over?
Boy, that is a real stumper.
That's not all, and it's got 3 lavender legs.
You think the folks get the picture by now, how entertaining house party is?
Well, probably not, but they might listen in anyway and prove it to themselves, huh?
In case it slipped your mind, that's House Party without Linkletter, weekdays on CBS Radio.
Wally Ballou has taken his portable news-gathering microphone to a, what is this, a butler's?
I don't know, some kind of a butler.
Bell cord factory?
Yes, I think that's what it is. Fortunately, it's in nearby northern Pennsylvania. Wally Ballou is standing by live now, so come in, please, wherever you are.
Here by northern Pennsylvania, where the gentleman standing next to me, H. Wallace Belair, is the manufacturer of pull cords for butlers. To attract their attention, I guess, Mr. Belair, is the big reason for the velvet rope. Is that
Shall
right?
I speak right into this
Yes.
same microphone?
I'll hold it for you.
All right. Yes, Mr. Ballou. It's to summon a butler who is located in the kitchen or in the butler's pantry.
Well, now you
Did
told
you know
me...
that the butler's pantry?
No, I knew the doctor's buggy.
He sure is.
Tell me this, there are a lot of people these days who don't have butlers in their employ, but you told me that they are still purchasing the velvet ropes to signal a butler.
Well, I tell you who's buying them. They're principally decorators, and they're putting them in homes that they've been hired to decorate or commissioned to
Just
decorate.
kind of a touch of ostentatiousness there.
Yes, a lot of people nowadays like to bring back a little bit of the old days. That is the wealth of the old. Ostentatiousness, as you mentioned, is a good word.
Opulence. I say opulence of the old days.
I'm ignoring it.
Oh.
And that's the principle.
Could I try one of these pull cords here and see
Only
what
if
happens?
you hurry.
Right, I know our time is limited. I'm going to...
Oh, golly gee, I'm afraid Wally pulled the cord right out of the amplifier there. But, friends, we'll have some words to live by in just 10 seconds.
We'd like you to listen to The World Tonight, immediately following our program.
And Three Guesses with Ed Joyce from 8:15 until 10.
Now then, here's Bob with some words to live by.
Thank you, Ray. You'll be much better liked if you're a nice guy than if you're an awful person.
Till tomorrow, this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumb.